Hello and welcome back to The Drag Detective, where today we are going to be doing something very different, but I get a lot of requests from you guys to maybe go back and do another one of my fantasy all-star seasons, which is kind of how I started this channel. But, the channel's gone in kind of a different direction now, and I'm more interested in making different content than that. But I thought that this was kind of like a happy medium. I'm still solving the mystery of who would be on the cast of All Stars Legends, but I don't have to, make the episodes. So this is just going to be who I think would be cast if they did an All Stars Legends. Now, if you guys like this video, I would be really down to make this maybe a little series. They announced that they were going to do a early out season, so maybe I could do one on that. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you would want me to kind of make a fantasy season of, but just to cast. So what is All Stars Legends? So basically, it's the All Stars of All Stars. I genuinely think this is going to be a thing down the road, maybe after All Stars 7 and 8, or maybe earlier than that. I mean, the Drag Race franchise is expanding so much. We have now an international All Stars, we have all winners coming, so I think it makes sense that they would want to get some of these fan favorites who have already been on All Stars that maybe wouldn't fit on a regular everyday All Star season. I think having a Legend season is kind of inevitable, and I think it would be really fierce. So I am here to figure out who would be on that cast. And I have some rules put in place, and we're going to kind of break down who would most likely be on that cast. But before we get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys so much for 30,000. I am so happy that this channel has become as successful as it is, and I hope I can continue to give great content and grow our community even more. I really appreciate that our space is such a positive environment, since we know that lots of areas of the Drag Race fandom on social media is not very positive. So I appreciate all of your guys' amazing comments. I appreciate your guys' insight and your critiques. And I also appreciate that you managed to keep it positive and not, terrible. So hopefully that is how our space continues to be. And I'm very excited to see where this channel goes. I mean, I've only been seriously doing this channel for a year-ish, so 30,000 subscribers is so great. I'm so excited to continue this channel into 2022 with new series and all these new ideas that I have. So make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of it. Also, make sure you are following me on my Twitter and my Instagram. I have other things going on there that are not on my YouTube. So if you want some extra content, that is the place to go. Or you can check out my Patreon, where we have a $1, a $3, and a $5 tier. It's a great way to support the channel, and you get some extra stuff like contests, and I critique every episode of currently Canada's Drag Race. So yeah, if you want some more content, that's another place to go. Okay, that's enough of the self-promotion bullshit. Let's move on to the actual video. Now, there are so many Ru Girls. I mean, if you put in all the international franchises, there's got to be over 250. I mean, we got to be close to 300. I would be interested to know how many there are, but I'm not about to do that math. So the first rule that I'm going to make for this season to kind of dwindle down the potential contestants is you must have been on a season of American All-Stars. So All-Stars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that brings the number down to 58 queens. Now, I'm going to try my hardest to get this down to a 14 queen season, but we'll see. We'll see how difficult it gets and how many queens are left when I put it through all these little things that I have. The next thing we're going to do to dwindle down this number is we're not going to have any winners, because now that we have an all winners spinoff, that's where they're going to go. They're not going to go to this Legends. That takes 8 queens off as well. The winners of All Stars, Chad, Alaska, Trixie, Monet, Trinity, Shay, and Kylie, as well as BB Sahara Benet, who competed on All Stars 3. So now we're down to 50 queens. Now, here is the first kind of filter I'm going to put these queens through, and we're going to see who is still left at the end. I think to be on a Legends season, you need to have won at least 2 challenges, whether that's in your first season or your All-Star season. I think 2 challenge wins is a nice place to start, and let's see who's left. Because, I mean, this All-Star season, if it's really going to be like the Legends, it needs to be the queens who are the absolute best at Drag Race and who are going to bring the best content to the challenges, to all of that. Let's roll through real quick. So first, let's look at All-Stars 1. Who is getting cut here? Unfortunately, Team Brown Flowers is going to get the cut. Nina Flowers won 1 challenge on her original season and nothing on All-Stars. Tammy Brown didn't win a challenge on either. But honestly, both of them, I think, more belong on regular All-Stars than Legends at the moment, just to kind of reestablish themselves with the new fandom. So they are both going to be cut. Also, Pandora Box is going to be cut. She has never won a challenge across her 3 seasons. And Mimi I'm First has never won a challenge. So we are left with Alexis, Raven, Jujube, Latrice, Chanel, Manila, and Yada. And if you're asking about Jujube, I'm not going to include any spoilers in this video, but just trust me, she makes the cut. So, All-Stars 2, who is getting the cut? Actually, only Coco Montrese is going to get the cut. She won 1 challenge on Season 5 and none on All-Stars. Everyone else has at least 2 wins. Okay, All-Stars 3. We're going to have, unfortunately, Aja get cut. She has 1 challenge win on All-Stars, and unfortunately have to cut Chi Chi DeVayne. She won 1 challenge on Season 8. And then 2 of my absolute favorite queens of all time, which you all know, Milk and Thorgy, no challenge wins. Morgan McMichaels had 1 challenge win on Season 2, but that's not enough. So kind of this cast got decimated. Let's look at All-Stars 4. The first 3 queens to be eliminated, Jasmine Masters, Pheromone, and Gia Gunn, are all going to get cut. None of them have any challenge wins. But everyone else is going to still be in the race. All-Stars 5. This is another cast that's about to get decimated. Blair St. Clair, no challenge wins. Derek Barry, 1 challenge win, so she's cut. Same with India Farah. Now Mariah, no challenge wins. She's going to get cut. Mayhem Miller, 1 challenge win, but she's still going to get cut. So that's a lot of that cast that is now out of the running. All-Stars 6, this was a big cast, and there's going to be a couple that don't make it. The first 2 eliminated queens from this season, Serena and Jiggly, have no challenge wins. They're going to be cut. Jan has 1 challenge win. She's going to get cut. Scarlett has none, so she will be cut. And yeah, the rest are still in. So after all of that, we are left with 28 queens who are still in the running. Now that is way too many for a full All-Star season. So we're going to have to make some more filters to put them through to kind of dwindle down this cast. So what else makes an amazing Drag Race season? Lip syncs. So the next kind of filter I'm going to put on is you need to have won 2 lip syncs. Whether that's a lip sync for the crown, whether that's a lip sync for your life, whether that's a, Lollapalooza lip sync. As long as you have 1, 2 lip syncs, you are still good to go. So who is going to get cut here? First, Yada Sofia. She has never won a lip sync. So she is going to be cut, as well as Chanel. Chanel has won 1 lip sync on Season 1, and I don't think she ever lip synced on All-Stars 1. But I've kind of blocked that season from my mind since I had to rewatch, so I could be wrong. I know she has not won 2, so she is going to be cut. The next queen who is going to be cut is actually from All-Stars 2. That is Fifi O'Hara. She won 1 lip sync on Season 4 and has lost every lip sync since. Now, Katya is gonna get cut, which I know is wild. She's one of the biggest fan favorites of all time, but she's only won 1 lip sync, and that's the first one she was ever in. And so I have to be fair here. Plus, I don't think there's a chance in hell Katya would ever come back to compete. So I think that she wouldn't come and do it regardless. So Katya is going to be cut. Now, there's actually only two more that don't fit this filter. That is Angina, who won no lip syncs, and Akuria Davenport, who has only won one lip sync. So that dwindles it down to 22, which is better, but still way too many queens. So what's another filter I can put on? Looking at some of these queens, they read to me more come back for a regular All-Stars rather than the Legend season. Some of these queens have been asked to be brought back for just a regular All-Stars, and I kind of think that's the place for them. They're kind of teetering on that Legend status. Like, yes, are they a Drag Race icon? 1000%. Are they a Drag Race legend? I think we need to see them one more time just to get that, like, cemented. And those queens are going to be Tatiana and Adore Delano. Now, they both went home early on All Stars 2. Now, Tatiana came back and then went home again. And I think that both of them, we just need to see where they are now. I think that both of them would absolutely kill a regular All-Star season, and we know that they've both been asked to come back to a regular All-Star season, so I kind of think that they maybe fit there better than the season that I'm casting right now. Which, let me just remind you, it's a fake season, fake scenario. This is just kind of my thought process. So that brings us down to 20. Now, what else would WoW look at when casting this season? If you're going to have a Legends season, fan support is huge. You know, there are plenty of queens who do great on the show, but the fans just don't resonate with. If they're going to do a Legends season, I think they want to make sure that it is stacked with fan favorites. So there's a couple queens here, unfortunately, that I just don't think would be a priority in fans of like who they would want back for this type of season. The first one I'm going to say is Ginger Minge. Mostly because we just saw her on All-Star 6. But also, she just didn't have the best reception from fans. You know, it was pretty mixed, kind of like how we've seen her on all of her seasons. Is Ginger Minge a legend? Yes. But at the same time, every queen that is left here is a legend. So we're like nitpicking at this point. And of the queens on this list, I think Ginger Minge is on the lower end of, at this point, who fans would want to see. So we're going to cut Ginger Minge. Now, the next one is one of the most dramatic heel turns in like the fandom's reception of a queen, and that is Ms. Cracker. Now, Cracker on season 10, I mean, the fans were obsessed. They were obsessed. But Cracker after All-Stars 5, I mean, she had the best track record, and still there was really not that much support for her to win. You know, I think the fans kind of went sour on Ms. Cracker, and you can tell that by her social media presence and, you know, what she's been doing lately, that unfortunately, I think that's kind of affected the trajectory of her career. I mean, she was skyrocketing after season 10, and she really felt like she was going to be the next big, huge Ru girl. But I think All-Stars 5 kind of put a pin in that trajectory, and I just don't know where she stands now with both the fandom and with where her career is headed. And that is not knocking her talent, that is not knocking anything, but fan reception is a big factor in how well you do after the show. And I think that the kind of strange, weird edit that she got on All-Stars 5 has really affected where she is now. Unfortunately, that is just one of the sad truths of the show. And so I don't think the fans are like, we want Cracker back, compared to some of the other queens on this list. So I am going to cut her here, but I do think that like we're going to see things from Cracker. I really think that she is such a talented, funny, smart queen. I don't think that All-Stars 5 was it. You know what I mean? I think that we're going to see more things from her. Just maybe not on a Legend season. At least not now. Who else are we going to cut? Kennedy Davenport. Now, I am like one of the biggest Kennedy fans. I love Kennedy. But if the show is looking at someone who is brandable, who fans love, who is going to bring the storylines and all of that, Kennedy, she doesn't have a big social media presence. I don't think she cares to. And I don't think that she was necessarily willing to give the producers what they wanted from her on All Stars 3, which was, to be the bitch. And I don't think that she'd be willing to do it now because she's over that. And I think that they want to cast people who are in for the ride. You know what I mean? Who are like, I'm ready to do this again. And I don't think Kennedy is necessarily there. She's been there, she's done that. She's been treated so poorly by the fandom that I just think that she wouldn't be super into it. And I don't think the fans are necessarily like clamoring for Kennedy to come back after her performance on All Stars 3. Now, I'm not one of those fans. I'm like, bring Kennedy back in the ring. I want to see this bitch again on my TV. But realistically, looking at this list of queens, I see Kennedy more towards the bottom of who both production and fans would want to see back on their screens. So there's one more queen that I'm going to cut, and that is Eureka. Eureka was the one that I cut last, though. So, like, looking at this group, I was like, fan support, like, Eureka has turned her reception around completely. From being on We're Here, from being on All Stars 6, and, she used to be one of the most hated queens. The amount of Eureka hate on social media was insane. It was rough. It was a rough period for her. But she has really turned things around, and the fans now love her, and that's a topic for another video, but she is definitely way more liked now than she ever has been before. And I do think that she actually does have a place on this season. But if I had to cut someone, I'm going to cut Eureka. Because the fans like her now, they haven't always. Whereas a lot of the queens that are left on this list have been fan favorites from like the very start. So I'm going to cut Eureka, but I do think that if I were to watch a Legend season, I would somewhat expect her to be on it. So that leaves us with 16 queens. And I'm not sure which ones I would cut at this point. If we want to go down to 14, I really don't know. I'm just going to kind of go through them real quick. Raven, now she might run into trouble because she's Rue's makeup artist. And I don't think that she could do the makeup thing and do the actual season. So I feel like I would want to cut Raven, but at the same time, people really want Raven back, so maybe they would make it work. I don't know what would happen there. Also, she might not be able to come back because of her contract or because she knows too much behind the scenes stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff there that's kind of messy. And I would, if I had to cut someone, I think I would cut Raven just because I don't know if they could make it work. But at the same time, she's been one of the most consistent queens since her tenure on the show, which was in 2012 was the last time she was actually competing. And the fact that she is still so prevalent and popular is a real testament to her work ethic and her tenacity as an entertainer. Yeah, she's going to go back, maybe lighten the foundation queen, maybe lighten the contour a little bit. I'm going to cut Raven, and we're going to be down to 15 queens. Jujube. Jujube is about to be everywhere. If you don't want spoilers, skip ahead 15 seconds. She's in Queens of the Universe. She's going to be on UK versus the World. Jujube is still one of the most popular and relevant queens, despite her being one of the first ever from this franchise. I mean, she was on season 2, so she is a legend. She is a legend. And I would expect her to be on this season, 1,000%, if it's ever a thing. Alexis Mateo. Okay, here's the thing. If this is WoW casting this season, I think Alexis would get cut. But if this is me casting this season, I want Alexis Mateo. She's at the very top of my list of queens I want to see back, of queens who deserve to come back. She doesn't have as many Instagram followers. She doesn't have as many, big things that she's done. But the fact that she is now on Fashion Photo Review, she's in the Vegas show, she's doing all these things that would make me think that WoW definitely still has their eye on her, so I am going to keep her on my cast. The next two, I struggled, because we've already seen this storyline play out, Manila and Latrice. But you cannot deny that Manila and Latrice are two of the biggest queens of all time from this show, still to this day. And I want to see them both on again. I want to see them both come back and do what they do because they're so entertaining. They are such incredible drag artists. And they're so fun. So it would be really rough for me to cut one of them because I think that WoW would want them back. I think the fans would want them back. And I think that they both would come back. So I'm going to leave them both on. Now we have Detox, one of the most iconic fashion queens the show has ever seen. I think she's kind of a slam dunk to be on like a Legends type season. You know, she's too big to come back for regular All-Stars, even though it's been a while since her All-Star season. And I think this is just a perfect fit for her. So I think Detox, slam dunk. Alyssa Edwards, slam dunk. I mean, how do you do the season without Alyssa Edwards? Roxy Andrews, I think that she would have so much growth since All-Stars 2. I think she was so worried about how she came across on All-Stars 2 that her performance kind of struggled. I think if she came back, it would be like a Goldilocks moment. The first time, her performance was great. Her personality was The second time she came back, her personality was great, but her performance was I think if she came back a third time, we would see like the fully realized God that is Roxy Andrews. So I would absolutely love to see her back. And she's become this, big fixture in the fandom of like drag excellence. So I think that they would be really happy to see her as well. Ben de la Creme. I think Ben would definitely come back. Jinx is coming back for All Winners. I think Ben would be like, oh bitch, let me do this. Let me get my part. And this is kind of the best place for her. She is competing against the best of the best. I think that this would be a really big challenge for her and something that she would truly be down for. I mean, she said that she's thought about coming back for just regular All-Stars. So I think she would 1000% come back for this, and I think that WoW would 1000% want her. So she's a lock. Shangela, if I had to cut someone else, I potentially would cut Shangela just because I think she might be too big for Drag Race now. She's been in A Star Is Born. She's on We're Here. She, is friends with all these A-list celebrities. And I feel like coming back to this might be kind of a step down. But I also think that WoW would really want her, and fans would really want her. So I question whether she would actually want to do it, but maybe. I still have to cut one person. She is in contention. Now we have Monique Hart. And I think at this point, she would definitely be a big contender, especially because, skip if you don't want spoilers, she is going to do so well on UK versus the world. So she's kind of just making her star rise and rise and rise even more. She is going to be an absolute legend of the franchise, and I think that she does belong on this season. Now we have another queen that I'm kind of tempted to cut, and that is Naomi Smalls. And the only reason I would cut her is because she isn't as well known for her prowess on the actual show, like in the challenges. But in every other aspect, she is an icon. She has the Manila moment. She has her lip sync moments. She is one of the most beautiful, gorgeous queens. Her Instagram is always poppin'. She has everything that she needs. I'm just not sure if WoW would necessarily be like, oh, we need Naomi Smalls. But the fandom, I'm sure, would be like, bitch, you need Naomi Smalls. She has a storyline with Manila already set up. If Manila's going to be there, I would love for Naomi to be there. I'm just not sure that WoW would want Naomi to be there in favor of someone else, like a Shangela, or even someone who was already cut, like a Katya or a Ginger. So I'm not sure. Maybe. Valentina, she's there. I mean, Valentina is 1000% going to be there. She's one of the most iconic fan favorites. She's one of the most iconic queens. She has catchphrases and all these iconic moments. Valentina would be there. Now we have some of the newer queens, and This is going to be interesting where their careers go because All Star 6 has just ended. And now they kind of have the platform to build their career, get to that legend status. Raja, Trinity, and Silky. Silky, I think people really want to see back. And I think, again, she's kind of like a Roxy. First time, she did so well in the challenges. People didn't like the personality. The second time, people loved the personality, but she didn't do well in the challenges. Maybe she could reach that, this is just right if she came back a third time. And I'd be really interested to see it. And it's a great storyline already set up for her. Now, Raja or Trinity, I don't know. Raja was one of the most popular queens at the time of All-Star 6, and I think she has such momentum right now, and I'm really interested to see what she does with it. Same with Trinity. I'm not sure if you would want both of them there, you know what I mean? Because they were the two fan favorites of All-Star 6. Do you want both of them now on Legends together? Do you need both of them on Legends together? I don't know. So we have 15, and I need to cut someone. And this is so hard. I mean, it's between Shangela, Naomi, Raja, and Trinity. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut Trinity, only because I think she has two things working against her. Her social media presence and the recency. We don't know exactly what she's going to do with her career now that she has this huge platform. The other queens here, I think they have one thing against them. Shangela is whether she would actually do it. Naomi is whether WoW would really want her. And Raja is the recency. Trinity has two. So that is going to be the one tiny little thing that is going to make me cut her. And that leaves us with our cast of 14 legends for All Stars Legends. Now, let me just be clear. I mean, basically every queen I've talked about in this video is a legend. This is just who would WoW want for this kind of big season. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you swap out? Who would you swap in? Did I cut the wrong people? I know I'm going to get so many comments. Katya needs to be there. Katya's not here. Whatever. I did what I did. I said what I said. So this is where I'm at. I'm very happy if this is the cast. And I'm hope that we get this type of season soon. I'm sure, honestly, very sure that we will, especially if Early Outs does well. They're going to want to do the opposite of that, which is the big guns. Very excited for the future of this franchise. I just hope that the tenderness and carefulness that went into seasons like All Stars 6 and Season 12 and some of the recent seasons that are very, very good, UK 2, I hope that same care is put into these new series as they continue to pop up, because we can tell when it's a money grab, and we can tell when the work is put in to make a good season. So, wow, we're watching, we're waiting, we're ready, but just give us some good seasons, because let's be real, 2021 has been a hit or a miss. But I'm still in. I'm still completely in. I'm excited for all winners. I'm excited for UK versus the world. And I'm so excited for all of the things that 2022 is going to bring us with Drag Race. So here are the links to all of my social medias. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been a really long day solving the mystery of who would do RuPaul's makeup if Raven is on the Legend season. I think she might have to call up Tina Burner. I think Tina Burner would love to have that gig. And, I'm sure she would do a great job. Okay, so I had to. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one.